Happy Saturday, guys. Come on in, grab your drinks, your coffee, your water, your tea, whatever you are sipping on, and let's talk. It is Saturday, our day to get into God's word, to find out what's on his heart concerning you. And I prayerfully you have an amazing Saturday. If not, you already know the saying. You have the power to change that negative into a positive. How? Add the dash. Now that one line becomes two lines. A positive. You have the power. It's that simple. What you doing about it? Do something about your situation. I'm not saying to force anything. I'm not saying to try to create an answer. But seek the Lord and find out what you need to do concerning that issue. He knows. He knows. He knows what you need to do. He knows what you did to get you in the problem that you're in. For those who are in a situation that is the result of something that you created. Right? Everything is that we always call it the devil and he's after me and it's a struggle and it's warfare. No, it's a bad choice that you made to get you into that situation. We got to be honest. We have to be honest with ourselves. We cannot move forward if we continue to lie to ourselves. How? We cannot become better us's. You cannot become a better you. I cannot become a better me if I continue to make excuses for where I am and why I am here. I have to be able to acknowledge it. I have to be able to own it and then say, okay, this is what I need to do. Because if not, you can move forward and you'll find yourself right back in that situation, right back in that place. Why? Because you have not had a change of mind. You have not had a change of heart. And so, yeah, be honest with yourself. You can't, it's no point to lie to me, right? I was about to say, I don't care. That's probably not the best. It's probably not the best response. But I'm saying sometimes we put on because we want people to see us in a certain light or to have a certain image or perspective of us. And at the end of the day, your life is your life. Whether they like it, whether they don't like it, whether they agree, whether they disagree, whether they're supporting you, whether they're rejecting you, your life is your life. So be honest with yourself. We don't leave it there. Okay. When can we expect to see the updated version of you? Yes. When is the updated version, the new version of you dropping? You know, we have CDs that drop. We have sneakers. You know, my daughter's into sneakers. So her and my husband be talking about, you know, oh, they dropping, you know, next month, this day. Everything is dropping. Everything is evolving. Everything is fresh and new. When can we expect the fresh and new you? Are you outdated? Are you a thing of the past? I know you're still in your current and today, but are you in the past? Is your mindset in the past? Is your goals in the past? Is your dreams in the past? Is your purpose in the past? Are you in line with what God has called you to do, with what he said? Are you transforming? Are you becoming? Are you developing? See, that's her conversation. We develop, we transform, and we become. Right? But the truth is, that process should be happening for all of us, whether you're a female, whether you're a male, whether you're young, whether you're old. We are all developing, transforming, and becoming. What are we becoming? We're becoming new versions of us. Right? I'm shedding off the old. And I'm becoming this new person with new ideas, with new goals, with a transformed mind. My perspective is shifted. The way I communicate, my conversation is shifted and has transformed. Why? Because I think different. I'm getting wisdom and gaining knowledge now. And so that it's showing. So I'm in a workout group. You know, I've been doing my exercise thing. It's day 20 something. I don't know what day it is yet. But in the workout group that I'm in, they have a Facebook page. And he said something so beautiful. He put up a blurb to encourage the women. And he said transformation, especially when it comes to us losing weight, it happens internally first. Then we see it externally. So often, if you exercise, we talked about this in the group. It was a joke. You ever exercise and then get in front of the mirror to see the weight that you lost right after you exercise? It don't work like that. There's something on the inside. There's a song we used to sing when I was a child. Something on the inside, working on the outside. Oh, what a change in my life. Something on the inside, working on the outside. Oh, what a change in my life. Something on the inside, working on the outside. Oh, what a change in my life. Oh, what a change in my life. What is the song saying? Something is happening on the inside spiritually, and it's manifesting outwardly. So now you can see something's different about me. You may not know what it is, but you can see are you going to church? Who are you around? What are you reading? What are you studying? What are you listening to? Why? Because the new you, I see it, but it did not happen outwardly first. It was an internal thing. Things that happen externally that are forced, it looks strange oftentimes. Right? It's not authentic. It's like these BBLs, these Brazilian butt lifts that these ladies are running out of state and out of town to get. Right? What they have to go through. You can't sit on your behind for weeks at a time. So you have to lay on your stomach. There was a video put up the other day of a girl coming back from getting her BBL done, and she's on the airplane on her knees at the seat. So this is the type of thing, and then it doesn't look authentic because now you forced a size to a shape that is not normal or is not proportioned well. So we don't want to force external change. We want the inward work to be done so that the outward manifestation can be authentic, so that it can be true, so that it can last. You know, if one of those ladies decide, I'm tired of sitting, laying on my stomach, sleeping on my stomach, I can't sit on my butt, and it's been 2 weeks, I have to sit. Now they can sit on their butt, but chances are it messes up the process of healing. And so now her behind may be kind of smushed in from her sitting on it because it did not, why am I doing this? It did not gel right, or I don't even know what all goes into that. But we want the inward change, the inward transformation, the inward shift. We want to be developed so we can transform, so that we can become. When can we expect to see the new version of you drop? You see, everything is being upgraded, and we live for upgrades, especially people with phones. I mean, there are people who, especially iPhones, I can only speak for iPhone because that's what I have. I don't live for upgrades. Right? But there are people who live for upgrades. Why? Because an upgrade, sometimes it's not even a lot that's new with it, but it just says it's the fresh thing. It's the new thing. I could afford it, or maybe you can, but you're still going out your way to get it. But I could afford this thing that everybody can't afford. I want it when it first comes out because there's something so fresh and so lively about being the first one with the new thing, even though eventually everybody's going to get it. And now you become just as common as everybody else because y'all have the same thing. Everything is evolving. Everything. We have cars. I used to love the Lexus, the GS300 from back in like 1995. No, maybe even earlier than that. My mind still thinks about that every time it's time for me to get a new car. My mind still thinks about that 1995 with the bubble eyes. I just love the look of it, the body of it. Now they have updated versions, but I just love what I fell in love with back then. Right? So cars are being upgraded. Our closets, our wardrobes, we're not wearing some of the same things we were 10 years ago. Some of us 2 months ago. You know, you shop too much. Every 2 months you purging your closets. Sit down, wear it out a little bit. No, not everybody's seeing you in it. It's okay to have it for a few more months, right? Our closets and wardrobes are changing. Our houses, how we furnish our houses. You know, back when I lived in New York, when seasons change, so did the decor in the house. You know, you put up winter clothes, you put them in the bags, and you pull out the summer stuff. Now I have everything in my drawers and in my closet, right? But back then, you did a shift, you did a change, and then guess what? When summer is leaving and we're going into winter, some of those summer clothes may be raggedy, so I'm gonna throw them away. I'm not even going to box them, because then after the winter, now I'm pulling out old stuff that doesn't fit or is no longer good. Technology is forever evolving, developing, being upgraded. What about you? Even our life as we knew it, our world as we knew it, got to upgrade in 2020. There are certain things that are no longer the same. So why then is everything else around us evolving, changing, becoming upgraded, better versions, and we remain the same? While we take part in these external things that are being upgraded, these external things that are new, these external things that are popping, that are fresh. What about you? See, when we look at our lives and think, this is not my own life. My life belongs to God. When we give our lives over to Him, when we receive salvation, we're saying this life is no longer my own. Now I want to read your word. I want to know, God, what you desire from my life so that I can live out the rest of my life according to your word, according to your will, according to your plan. Jesus didn't stay the same. Even after his death, he was buried. That should have been the end of him. But he came back and he did greater works. Greater works. Every miracle he performed was something, I was going to say magical, in our natural terms, magical. We know it's spiritual, but magical. Like, what, God? How could you do that? There was never a dull moment with God. When you read the word, every miracle he performed, everything that he did leaves us in awe. But the awe that we are left in is not just to think, oh, it's only for him. Only he can do that. He said, greater works shall we do. I can't do what's needed in 2024. The 2024 me does not need the 1996 me. That means I have to continue to develop, transform, so that I can become the new version of me, the updated version of me, the upgraded version of me, the 5.0 version of me, to be better, to fit what I'm supposed to do in 2024. But I don't even want to push it out to 2024. There's still more living to do in this year. There's still more living to do in this month. Even though we're closing it out, there's still more to do. When can we expect the new version of you to drop? You see, old versions of a thing, they still work, but sometimes it's slow. It's outdated. You know, like the cell phone. Nobody has the big cell phones, the Nokias, the flip phones. But some people still have the flip phones. But that was a thing of the past. And as they upgraded, as they evolved, as new versions came out, we are now holding on to phones that are better, that are greater, that do more things. So don't allow yourself to be worn out, to be tired out, to be what we call it washed up. There's a thing they used to say, you washed up. Like there's nothing left to you. You washed up. If and so long as we have life, so long as we are living, so long as we have breath in our lungs, the Lord is still calling us to get up and be, to get up and do. He's never saying, I'm so proud of you, rest my child. You're good. Just ride this thing out till I come home, come to take you home. That's not what he's saying. There's still more work to be done. On the level that you are on and on new levels, we go from glory to glory to glory. So what is a new and updated version of you going to afford you? When you think of phones, right? Because all of us have phones. We can't live without our phones. Some of us don't even have house phones anymore because that technology has allowed this cell phone to go with me everywhere. And because I spend most of my time outside of the house than in the house, why do I need a house phone? Like, call me on my cell phone so you could catch me live, catch me immediately if I want to talk to you. You know how y'all do. So what does an upgrade afford you? It makes things easier. It makes things easier when we have the wisdom and knowledge of God, and he gives us wisdom and knowledge for our purpose and our identity and the assignments. There's a toil that we don't have to participate in. Toil is not my portion. Frustration, now depending on what it is, but I don't have to live in a frustrated place. I don't have to live in a place where I'm tired because I keep trying and nothing's working. He gives us wisdom when we seek him. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and he answers. Seek and you shall find. So when we seek him for wisdom and understanding for what he has called us to do, he gives us tools. He gives us strategies that makes this thing a little easier. Now, we still have to work. And we still will be put in positions where this not going to happen unless you do it, God. So it means that I have to trust you. It means that I have to rely on you. Yes, that is always going to be a part of our lives. But there's some things that becomes easier because now I've gotten the wisdom and the knowledge to do this thing. So I don't have to do it on my own. And his word tells me I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I need to make sure I'm doing it through him and not outside of him. Because outside of him, then it becomes my own wisdom, my own strength, my own experience. And guess what? You ain't smart enough. Oh, me too. I ain't smart enough. Number 2, it allows us the ability to do more. I can do so much with my cell phone, right? Not only it has many different things. In one piece. In one phone, I can do a camera, so I don't have to use a camera, right? I can do, there's so many different apps and all of that, so I don't have to go on my computer necessarily to do a Photoshop and all of these editings for pictures and videos. Why? Because my phone has that. We talked about actual making calls. I don't have to wait till I get home to listen to the answering machine because I have this all in this one device right here. I can text you to get a message to you no matter where you are. No matter where you are. I can send you an email, but I can get it to you quicker if I text you because that's coming directly to you, to your phone, which you have in your hands, most of us, at all times. And number 3, it gives us access to what has been added. You know, there's certain times when my phone is to capacity, so I need to delete some stuff. So when there's an upgrade that's affording me access to new things, and sometimes is not anything really major, but I can't even take advantage of this new thing if I do not free up space on my phone so that the upgrade can happen. So there's things in our lives that we're holding on to. There's baggage, there's relationships, there's mindsets, there's things that we've become one with that is no longer meaningful in our now. Things that worked in our past that is not going to take us into our future. That's only going to become baggage in our future. That's only going to hurt us in our future. But because we're so stuck to it, we can't even free ourselves for the new thing, the upgrade, the better version of us that God is trying to show us so that we can once again develop, transform, and become who he sees. See, many of us don't have the right perspective of ourselves. We have great perspective of everybody else. We see everybody else in an elevated place. We see everybody else and we look at them and we ooh and we ah and say, I wish that I can have that. I wish that I can do that. I wish that I can be that. But there's a better version of you that God has stored up just for you. It has your fingerprint and your name on it. But because you don't see yourself the way God sees you, you can't even receive the benefit of the upgrade. You can't even get access into the new thing because you're still thinking low. Poverty mindset. I had a client the other day. She's actually a pastor. And she had an event. She did something and she went low budget on the event. And she was upset because the person didn't perform to her liking. And she said her husband told her, you didn't have to go low budget. You went low budget. And so you got what you paid for. But you have money. We have money. You didn't have to go low budget. You could have gotten something, went to a company that cost a little more, but that you would have been pleased with the entire night, where you would not be having these back and forth conversations now about how you're trying to get some of your money back. And she's like, oh, no, you can't get any of your money back. This wouldn't be an issue if you were not low thinking. And I told her, I said, you know what my pastor calls that? A poverty mindset. And she began to tell me a story of when her daughter, who is now 20-something years old, was 5. She said she walked in the store with her 5 months. She walked in the store with her daughter at 5 months. She didn't even have money to buy Pampers. She felt so low. She said to herself, I will never be here again. So she made that confession, but she did not have a mind transformation to say, I won't never be there, but now this is what I need to do so I won't be there. Her thing is, I'm going to keep going low so I'll never be without. But you don't have to go low because you have it. Be wise, but you don't have to go low. Be wise, but you don't have to go low. Let that encourage you. Be wise, but you don't have to go low. We buy into upgrades. That's what makes the thing new. That's what makes it poppin'. That's what causes there to be a shift. With anything that is introduced that is new, a group of people, they may get it from when it's first introduced, when it first drops, when it first comes out. So they are the people with the newest thing, the freshest thing out there. But over time, as the rest of us come into our monies, if we want to buy in to this thing, because that's all an upgrade is. A better version of something is just us as individuals buying into this thing that was introduced. When there is no buy-in, the people who introduced it go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, let's try to figure this out because this didn't go over as well as we thought it was going to. And some of us, we are around the wrong people that are not buying into us being upgraded, us becoming better versions of ourselves. And so, because you are afraid to leave, because you are afraid to stand out, because you are afraid to stand up, because you are afraid to stick out, you dumb down and you remain in the old version of who you are. You're outdated. You're washed up. There's nothing fresh about you. There's nothing new about you. There's nothing popping about you. There's nothing vibrant about you. There is no life to you. You are not living in life more abundantly. You're just living. You're existing as we all do if we have breath. But he died so that I could have more than the average person who has just accepted, I got breath, I'm good. Our mindset as believers should be, I have breath, I'm good. But I want the abundant, I want the exceeding abundantly, far above what I can ask or think. Because my Father has it. Because I deserve it. And so this new version of you is not about what you have. See, because, we the term of being brand new, you acting brand new. A lot of times it's a mindset that you think you're better than somebody else. A lot of times it's a mindset or because you have something that is of value, because you have something that not everybody has, not everybody could afford. Now you think you something. We do want to be brand new, but your brand new is not about what we have. It's about who we are. See, because there are a lot of people who have the last version or the updated version of everything new and fresh that has come out, from cars to cell phones to clothes to houses. but they have no peace. But they're not living in purpose. They have the external, as we talked about at the beginning, they have the external manifestations of what upgrade looks like, but they have not been internally. So they live for the upgrade because this new thing, this fresh thing says something about me to you. I know I'm poor, I know that, not poor, I know that I have no peace. I know that I'm tormented. I know that I'm stressed. I know that I'm depressed. I know that I'm not happy. But you, because you see me with this fresh thing, this new thing, this name brand thing, this trending thing, you think I'm all that. And so I live to make you think that I'm all that. In other words, I'm a public success in your eyes, but I'm a private failure because I know the truth of what goes on behind closed doors. I know the truth of what I lay down at night in my bed thinking, crying, worrying, in fear. I know the truth that all of these things, I've been borrowing money. I've been taking out loans. And here you think I got the bag. I'm in debt. Trying to keep you with the image of me that I'm all that. So being upgraded, a better version, is not about what we have. I want to become a better version of me, an upgraded version of me. I want to be more like Christ. I want to be more into the things that he's called me to do. I want to match my assignment. I don't want my assignment to be here, but my thinking to be here. My finances to be here. My relationships. I need to be elevated to match what he sees, what he said about me, what he has ordained for my life. So it means if I see or he said this, but I don't think or see myself there yet, it just means I need to come up. I need to come up a little higher. And so now the better version of me, the new version of me that drops, the updated and upgraded version of me affords me to be able to do the nice things externally because I understand this does not make me. I'm something with it. I'm something without it. Because I know who I am and I know my purpose. I don't have to try to front for you to think anything about me. Because first, it's important for me to know. That way, whether you like it or don't like it, I'm good. Whether you agree or you don't agree, I'm good. Whether you support or you don't support, I'm good. Because this is the upgraded version of me. And the upgraded version of me will attract like-minded people who think, not necessarily that we have to agree on everything, but who think like I am, who is focused like I am, who is centered like I am, who has their eyes on the prize, who is putting God first. We want what God wants for us. That is good, man. I really want to do that. Oh, should we? And we have to be disciplined to be like, no, but is that going to lead us further into our purpose? Or is that going to take us away, take us out of our purpose? Is that going to take us out of our assignment? Is that going to get us into more trouble? Temporary fun. And I'm not even talking, I'm not even talking about sin. I'm just talking about, is it meaningful? Is it purposeful? Is it for me? Is it for you? It's time to upgrade. Beyonce said, let me upgrade you. But she can't upgrade me. Only God can upgrade me. And guess what? It's afforded to me. I have to want it. I have to not only want it and buy into it. So that my new person, my new mindset can afford me to become the new person. And here's the other thing, cell phones. They put cell phones in the store. They're not only shown on TV, but they are put out for display. Why? Because they want you to come in, touch this phone. Yes, scroll, see all the things that it does, all the access that it gives you. Some of us are not being upgraded, one, because we don't want to touch nobody. And two, because we don't want nobody to touch us. What do I mean? Just so we're all clear. You need to get around what you want to become. You need to get around like-minded people. If you still thinking low, but God has said this is what you're going to be and this is what you're going to do. You need to get around some people who are doing it. You need to get around some people so that your influence, your environment can change, so that your influence can change, so that what you're hearing and what you're seeing by faith, you can become. And two, some of us got the upgrade and we're like, good, I'm good by myself. I don't want nobody trying to glean from me. I don't want nobody trying to learn from me, because then now you become my competition. There are enough cell phones in the world, boo-boo. Everybody can have a cell phone. In other words, you ain't the only you. There's somebody else that's willing to give the information. There's somebody out there that's willing to sit down and say, this is what I did. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to look into. Hey, this is the resources. Hey, go talk to this person. So you're not the only one. And remember, our lives are not our own. So yes, there are some things that are for us, but then we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. As I develop and I transform and I become her, now my story is to help somebody else. Now my story is to free somebody else. Now my story is to encourage somebody else. My story lets somebody else know you're not alone. You are not the only person who has dealt with that. But I made it out. This is how I made it out. You may not do it the same way, but I'm here to let you know that you can make it out. I've become an upgraded version of myself, and I want to encourage you that you can too. That's what this life is all about. So continue to tell your story so that it helps others. We ain't talking about the story that you looking for, people you manipulating people and looking for people. We ain't talking about that story. I'm talking about the story that this is where I was, this is what I did, I overcame it, I'm a better person. Now let me help you, because I see you struggling with this in the same area. Right? And so, yeah, when can we expect to see the new version of you drop? Because you outdated, you washed up, you old. Not in age, in purpose. So be refreshed, be renewed, and be reminded that there is more. Keep elevating, because God has more for us. Listen, this is today's Saturday. If it blessed you, please feel free to share it with someone. Don't forget, I'm getting tongue-tied. Don't forget to go on YouTube and subscribe to Letitia's Heart. All of my Saturdays is on there. Until next Saturday, continue to live, love, laugh, and breathe. Jesus loves you, and your girl does too. Let me upgrade you.